You know what? Screw spirals. We're gonna focus on Dragon Links. Hey guys, it's Tom Box. I survived the coronavirus. I'm just kidding. I never really had coronavirus. Super healthy now, for the most part. Just got a cough that's still lingering. Flew over. Anyways, today we're going to be looking at one of my favorite decks right now in this current format. That's right, it's Dragon Links. It's actually Rocket Dragon Links to be a bit more specific, but Dragon Links nonetheless. If, you know, Spirals isn't your cup of tea, then it's time to drink some dragons, and Dragon Link is going to offer a lot of fun. I've been having a lot more fun with this deck than with Spirals, because Spirals, I guess, kind of the same. You're building the same board over and over. Yeah, we get that the boards are super strong, super consistent, but if you want to try something else, a little bit different, and want to enjoy the game, or you already have your old dragon package that you don't know what you're doing with them, well, give this one a swing, because I honestly think it's got a really good chance. I was working on this one for MR5, MR 2020 for April, because we can play Draglubian and we can also play Galactic Spiral Dragon to kind of tune up, or rather change up all your levels to 8 and get free OTK access. But right now, this is not that current version. This is the one that we can play right now, and I've tuned my side deck as well so that we can play against Spirals, because we know Spirals is just so strong. Okay, let's just face the fact. This ain't no Spirals, but this is still going to be really, really fun. And I'm going to showcase it to you guys right now. So stick around if you guys want to play Dragon Links. If you guys are wondering if Dragon Links still exists in the format, well, here it is, guys. Starting off with Triple Seyfert, my favorite card, one of your best opening plays. Searches out your level 4s, your 6, 7, whatever level that you want to match up to. It's just free search for your dragon, and it sets up your play. If you have this card with a rocket, then you can probably get into your combo. I'll probably show you guys that as the basic combo if you don't know how to play the deck, so you can watch that after this deck profile part of this, and then I'll show you guys some other fun things you can do as a recovery play if you last that long. So Triple Seyfert, I mainly search Black Dragon. Okay, this card I don't really like, but it's Gateway Dragon, and I realize there's no better replacement to it than Gateway Dragon. If you guys can find a better dragon, not Crusadia, hopefully, then tell me. But yeah, if you go second, you can special summon this if your opponent has a Link monster, and it gives you another free summon of a Dark level 4 lower dragon. Cannot summon Seyfert, that's the only bad part. And if it could, I would run 3 of this quite easily, because it's just so quick to set up more and more dragons onto the field. And finally, Rocket Tracer. I'm playing triple. We're trying to... It doesn't really matter if you play too many rockets. If you played like a pure rocket deck, or if you're aware of a pure rocket deck, you know that they can just load up as many rockets as they can, because the field spell will just help you spam them out very, very quickly. And that's what we're kind of aiming to do. Not like the biggest objective, but it is one of the more common ways for you to do your whole guard dragon combo with these particular plays, and set up something that will help you survive the rest of the turn. There are a couple of tech dragons you can even run, such as a Morphage Goliath or Sloth, just so that you can lock your opponent out from using their extra deck. That's an option. And with the current build that we are going with, you can actually even lock your opponent out, and even if you summon those monsters, your opponent won't be able to kill it, and that's probably even more fun, because now they're actually locked into a weak board, and you can actually attempt to break them straight into the Shadow Realm. Okay, so then for the rest of the rocket package, we have 1 Magnet Rocket, 1 Silver Rocket, and 1 Rocket Synchron. This one's very important, especially for recovery. I love recovering with this card because it summons out 2 dragons, and 2 dragons can help you go into Galactic Spiral Dragon. And it's just free. These are just level 4 so that you can go into your Synchro 8s. Yeah, that's mainly the reason why you play these ones. And you don't want to run out of level 4s that aren't tuners, because Rocket Tracers, they're tuners as well. And finally, the rest of the rocket package, triple Observator Dragon. Without the Thunder Dragon package, you can't replenish your hand as easily. This is the best card to throw out. You can also go into a BLS and give you the free summon. It's just really good, and it's basically a Sangan for most of your rocket monsters. So it's free summon, free Sangan, and it can be revived by other rocket monsters as well. So I think it's actually pretty useful to have this card, and it's just free. Throw it into the graveyard, get yourself a search. It's very, very versatile. That's why I'm trying to max out on something that would just help you replenish, because replenishing hand is a lot harder now. We don't have access to the IB combo. Without IB combo, you're not using cheap combos anymore. Everything is going to cost you more and more cards. So Absolute to me was like a must play. This is like, I would not cut this one down ever because of the resource management. White Dragon, Black Dragon. This one's pretty self-explanatory because they're just dragons that are able to search each other off. And for our level 8 dragons, we have Chaos Dragon Legionnaire, Chaos Dragon Legionnaire, and Our newest MVP of the deck, Galactic Spiral Dragon, special summons itself. If you have 2 dragons that are both either light or dark, so in other words, it's free. But if it does banish itself, but who cares? The other effect is it turns every monster on the field, on your side anyway, to level 8, which is huge, which means you can play with a rank 8 package, which will prevent itself from getting banished. Because much like most things that special summons themselves out, they get banished when they leave, unless of course you rank up with it. So we're going to rank up with this into some of our more powerful rank 8s, and rank 8 is probably some of the best numbers available. Levianeer, think about it as Absoluter. You don't want tossing it into the graveyard, as long as Safer can add it back to your hand, and then you can still rip a card out of your opponent's hand. So I've still opened ripping my opponent apart. Just not as good as Diabolos, because Diabolos required like the Thunder package to actually get it off easier. This is a little bit harder, but I think it's still worth playing because it can pop cards. It can maybe make chain blocks, not as often now without the Thunders. And additional dragons, Destrudo as an extender. We have 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal because it's Red MD. This is part of the Guard Dragon combo. Tempest, a card that you like to have. If you have both Tempest and Galactic Spiral Bulge, this is just the Galactic Spiral Dragon, sorry. It's just free rank 8s for you to play with. That's why I really enjoy it. It's just that you have to have the other Dark Dragons to actually summon that out first. So yeah, there's that limitation. You want 2 Dark Dragons so they can summon this out, put this one out, and then you try to overlay these 2 together just to keep them into the graveyard. That's kind of the plan that I'm going for. Anyways, moving on. Danger package, I'm still running it because Galactic Spiral Dragon converts all monsters, doesn't matter if they're dragon or not, so that you can just use these to help you extend. And I'm running a very small one. Just Tsuchinokos, Jackalopes, and Nessie. I don't have anything else to run with them because it's just a nice filler. As for hand traps, I only run Drone Lockbird just to stun out spirals and any deck that has a heavy search, even including Pendulum, because we don't have Thunder Dragon anymore, so this is the next best thing. And Ash is just not enough. You try to hit them with an Ash, they hit you with a Call by the Grave. If they hit you with Call by the Grave with this one as well, it's fine. Then that means I can still search too. And into the spells, we have Quick Launch, Quick Launch, Quick Launch, free Dragon Summon. Sometimes you want to still put out 4 monsters, and then if your last card is still a Quick Launch, then you can still just go into a Appaloosa Guard Dragon combo, which is not Nibiruable, so you can still get multiple negations, about 4 negations off of that Appaloosa, and probably keep it alive because you probably have a Dingears on the field, and maybe even a Borreload Savage Dragon. And in most cases, if you don't, try not to get your board into a super polyable state, just try to keep your attributes aware. Foolish Burial just to help you extend, same with Dragon Shrine, and Dragon Ravine is searchable with Romulus and helps you fix up your hand. Boot Sector Launch to help you spam out all the rockets that you have, or potentially if your Boot Sector Launch doesn't get destroyed and you loaded up your graveyard, then this Boot Sector Launch is going to completely just overturn your opponent's entire turn, because you're just going to revive a bunch of dragons, and then you're going to summon out Galactic Spiral Dragon, then Tempest, and you have 5 monsters to play with, which means you can go into a Boral Sword Dragon, do a double punch, full 8k damage just with Boot Sector Launch. Very fun stuff. And for our last few spells, we have 2 Warla Legacy Guard Dragon, not searchable by Ib, World Chalice Justice, because that's banned, no Ib combo, but it's still very useful so that even if you don't have like full resources, if you go into an Appaloosa, you can just use this card to revive your dragon so that you can just do the entire Guard Dragon combo anyway. And it's still very useful in like a smaller setting. If you only have 2 monsters and the one that you were able to summon out left over, then that's still fine because you can move the monster over and still do the combo there. So that's why I still think this is very versatile. Or maybe you can just add back your white or black dragon to your hand. Remember, it has the other option. And 2 Call by the Grave just in case there's a hand trap. So that kind of makes up for most of the main deck. Alright, extra deck, Striker Dragon, because it's a Rocket deck and you can use this to search the field spell and re-add some of the stuff in your graveyard. Pretty neat. We have LP Pisty because it's Guard Dragon combo. Alright. Next we have our Link 2 Dragons, Heretic Seal, Romulus, and just to help us get out of a Dragon Lock, sometimes we have to use Triple Burst, but I think I've used Triple Burst to pierce and to negate damage type effects more than most things, so very useful card. Search Dragon Ravine, and this one, You can tech in some of the more annoying floodgate based dragons. You can use a Kuaki Meru, or you can even use a Morphage, a Goliath, or Sloth. Because I am running rank 8, I am running Dingirzu, whatever that you summon out is going to be very hard to destroy. And if it's very hard to destroy, you might end your opponent with a much weaker board thanks to Hermetic Seal. So I try to go into this one as much as I can, unless I have an Appaloosa that has 4 material and I'm not willing to trade it off. That's the only reason where I kind of like don't bother making this. But overall, I want to make this as much as I can. 1 BLS because Rockets have an easy time summoning out BLS. And then Boral Sword because it's my boss monster, Saryuja, and I guess might as well try to fit this one in as well, Appaloosa. Sorry, bit of a pricey extra deck, but it's necessary. You don't want to get Nibiru all the time, and Appaloosa sometimes can help you prevent that, and the negations from Appaloosa. For this particular deck, you're looking at an Appaloosa that typically has 3 or 4 negates rather than the typical 2. That's kind of sums it up. You can switch this particular card out for Boral Load Dragon to answer to Spirals, because Spirals, you guys try to list the amount of outs Spirals has against a Boral Load Dragon. Just tell me what you know, and you realize that, hey, yeah, it's pretty hard to actually out that card. Okay, so for my remaining 5 cards, guys, let's go into the Xyz first. Let's go into everyone's favorite Xyz monster. We have Dingirzu. Why not? It's Dingirzu. You can protect all your cards. Send your opponent's stuff to the graveyard, which is a really good recovery play. Number 68, Sanafon, the Sky Prison. Stop your opponent from summoning out stuff from the graveyard. Comes up a lot more often than you think. I mean, Spirals, you put this card out. They have no real combo. Cannot be destroyed by card effect. Once the effect is applied, applies to the end of their turn. The only problem is if they put out Sleeper somehow and they pop this card. That's why you try to pair the 2 together so that they are very hard to kill and your opponent can't really do anything about it. And that's why this last card, personally, I kind of want to run a 3rd copy of Dingirzu because Dingirzu can grind harder than Hope Harbinger. I don't know what I'm reviving with a Hope Harbinger right now, or not reviving, what I'm negating, but it's Hope Harbinger. It can help you redirect attacks, but you don't really care about the attack redirection if your monster is just not gonna die. So that's why I'm favoring probably running another copy of Dingirzu over the Hope Harbinger. If you're wondering how I'm summoning these cards, I'm using the Galactic Spiral Dragon to change everything to level 8, so they can just overlay with them. So that's kind of my my package there for 8s, and for my Synchro 8s, Draco Berserker the Tenyi, because this guy can just banish whatever the monster that activates. Even though you don't negate it, you can get rid of a problem card. Perhaps something that's about to free special summon. Or you can use it to punch over your opponent. So, if this attacking card destroys a effect monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, gain attack equal to the monster's original attack, and then make a second attack on a monster during this battle phase. So, the attack gain, I believe, is permanent. So, yeah, there's that. And of course, there's Boral Load Savage Dragon to get you that negation. Maybe you don't have to push through some sort of back row. Just negate the back row. Easy. Which is why I enjoyed this. Side deck option. Evenly match, evenly match, evenly match. So that bait your opponent, then evenly match them so that they don't have a negation against it and just wipe their board. It's really easy to play against them after that. Mind control, and my last Call by the Grave because I think it's useful. Triple Twin because I don't want to get floodgated out. It's pretty easy to floodgate my deck. Triple Dark Ruler No More because this turns off an entire Spiral board without any effort, and then you can just do your whole combo, break them apart. And remember, Spiral, you don't really have that great of a grind game once the whole board is dead and you're the one putting up Dingirzus and stuff like that. It's pretty hard for them to play. And I play Triple Crackdown just in case I go first and I can steal a monster just to disrupt my opponent and use their stuff for my own material. Alright, here's the how to play basic combo. You have a Seafert and you have a Rocket Tracer. That's a full combo to the Guard Dragon combo, starting with the normal summon Seafert, Seafert effects and itself. These 3 cards are extenders. If you open with any of these, especially this one, you can basically do anything you want and you'll probably finish with a much stronger board. And I will highlight that in this particular combo, but if you don't open these, You might still have a chance thanks to Saryuja. So it's starting off with Seyfert. Seyfert's effect, we're going to go ahead and add Black Dragon because we're going to do the Black Dragon combo. Banish the Seyfert. Special summon out our Black Dragon. Black Dragon, we're going to link it off, summoning out Striker Dragon. You really want them both to go off, so I don't really know what's the better chain link for you, but in any case, this one will help you get you an extension. So chain link 1, chain link 2, and chain link 2, we're going to add ourselves a White Dragon, and chain link 1, we're going to get ourselves a Boot Sector launch. So this is our current hand. So wow, free plus thanks to Seyfert. Congratulations. Well, now we're going to banish our Black Dragon, summon out the White Dragon, and with these two dragons, we're going to link them both together to get ourselves a Romulus. Romulus effect, now we're going to add ourselves Dragon Ravine. So not much has changed so far. Now, this is where I'm saying it really changes up. So if you have Dragon's Ravine, ultimately the target that you want to put into the graveyard is the one that's going to give you another rocket monster. And if that's the case, you want to throw this card into the graveyard regardless. If you don't have anything, always put this into the graveyard as the resolution of Ravine. But if you already have it, then you should probably put Galactic Spiral Dragon in there instead. In this case, this is the maximum extension. So I'm going to use Router, toss this into the graveyard, and we're going to put Galactic Spiral Dragon into the graveyard because that's probably the other monster that you want to put into the graveyard as soon as you can, whether it be through a Foolish Burial or through a Dragon Shrine. So through that effect, we're going to put the Galactic Spiral Dragon into the graveyard. As the Router effect is going to activate, we're going to add ourselves another rocket monster. We're going to add the Silver Rocket. And from here, we can go ahead and just switch our field spells. Boot Sector launches effect. We can summon out 2 rocket monsters from your hand with different names in defense position. So boom, done. So now you have 2 arrows, 2 dragons. That just means you have the full Guard Dragon combo. Guard Dragon combo initiate now. So nothing really changed here. So still doing this. And LP Pisty, yes, you can get eaten by Nibiru. It happens sometimes. And Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Red Eyes Darkness Metal effect. Special summon out doesn't really matter dragon because we are going to just gonna link everything off right here really into Saryuja. Saryuja effect. I guess we dumped the card in earlier. We'll shuffle and cut and 5 cards. See, you can extend further. And if you get lucky, of course, you might go for something like this. Everything else doesn't really matter because you're just going to summon back your Rocket Tracer anyway with Red Eyes Darkness Metal. So let's just put these cards away. In any case, if you dig into like a Chaos Dragon Levianeer, you probably want to hold on to that even if you don't have any sort of combo extension. Pisty effect. We're going to summon out Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Darkness Metal. You have a choice. If you want to go into a cheaper Appaloosa, then you might want to go with the Link 2. If you don't want to go into Appaloosa, then you can save it for later. Then probably go for the Rocket Tracer. And in this particular case, I would say go with the Rocket Tracer for now, just so for me, it's a little easier to demo what's going on. So right now, Skull Dread's effect still can summon a card from a hand. I'm just saying, what if I don't have a card? But then these two typically get linked off together. So I'm going to ignore the Skull Dread part now. I'm just going to do this part. If you have an additional monster summon it out first. And go ahead and summon out your first monster. We have Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. You still have 2 Dark Dragons. So with the 2 Dark Dragons, special summon out the Galactic Spiral Dragon defense mode. And if you have Chaos Dragon Levianeer, which is pretty sick if you do, then make sure you get the summon out by getting rid of these cards and making sure that your opponent has a pretty rough time starting with a smaller hand. Don't use this effect until you've already finished off with your Tracer. You've put a Skull Dread into the graveyard. You're going to go into Dark Monsters. So in any case, we can go ahead and use the effect of Rocket Tracer and pop off one of our own cards. And we get to summon out a level 4 Magna Rocket. But these two, go ahead and synchro to that. Effect of this. Let's get the Skull Dread. And typically, if this wasn't a level 8, or if you blew up the boot sector launch instead for the extra monster, and you have a 10 and an 8, you use the effect of Galactic Spiral Dragon, turn everything into an 8, and then you can overlay the 2. And you can either Sanif on your opponent, or you can go ahead and use a Dingirsu just to protect everything that you're kind of holding on to right here. That gives you 1 bounce, 1 negate. Sure, it's not as strong. Or you want to stun out their entire graveyard, go ahead and do that instead, and go ahead and detach this. So that next turn, you get another free summon because you still have 2 dragons, so this one will come back out. You still have this option, so that you can still go into like a Dingirsu the turn after. That's kind of the version of Dragon Link that I'm playing right now, and that's the combo here. You guys can mix and match, flex around with it, and I guess one fun thing for the recovery, I guess I'll show you right now. Okay, this one's just to highlight 2 threats. One is boot sector launch, and I guess the last one here, I guess I should have dug it out earlier, is the Rocket Synchron. So you've burned through a chunk of the extra deck. This is still from the previous combo stuff. These are stuff that's still banished, whatnot. If you still have boot sector launch, then you can just use boot sector launch depending on the difference. Hopefully there's 2 cards, and you'll be like special summon 2 rockets or 3 rockets. All right. That sounds easy enough. And then you have multiple dragons, special summon, and then you still have a dragon, so you might as well just spam out your entire board by banishing 2 dragons. What can you make with something like this? You've burned some of your extra deck cards. You have maybe one synchro left. Well, in any case, if you have your extra deck, you have something that looks like this. You can go into a BLS if you need the BLS arrows. And if you're going to do the BLS, that means you can probably play with either a Dingirsu or maybe even something else. In any case, you can try to... Why don't we just try and do that? We just turn everything into level 8. And with that, we're just going to take some of these dragons here. Since they're all 8s now, it doesn't really matter what you send. You can go into the BLS, and now you can overlay these 2 into a Dingirsu, and you kind of made a full recovery without using a normal summon. This is pretty painful, I would say. This Blackluster Soldier can't really get destroyed by battle because Dingirsu is sitting on the field, making it very difficult for your opponent to play, and this is not something that they want to let you swing with, because you'll just get super strong and they'll just eventually lose, and they'll lose the grind because BLS is just that good. And Dingirsu is just Dingirsu. It's just not very fair with the Galactic Spiral Bulge. And the other way is that you can do the exact same thing basically with the Rocket Synchron. You just summon out the Rocket Synchron, you just find the Abs Router, or you can even summon out this, which lets you basically summon this card out, and then you can still basically do the exact same thing with the Tempest, and you can just set up your entire board like this, turn everything into 8s, and if you're playing in the new Master Rule, that means that you can just go ahead and just play like that, and it's not very fun for your opponent to deal with these kinds of recovery, which is why I think this deck has a pretty decent recovery chance to re-push for extra damage, and with all these extra monsters, you can perhaps even go into like a Boral Sword. And that's all I got for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed my explanation of why Rocket Dragon Links are so fun and want to give it a try yourself, hit that thumbs up. If you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV, I'm going to try exploring other decks outside of Spirals, because Spirals is just not the most fun deck for me. And besides, I'm not going into any events till Spirals is probably banned, so, well, there's that. So that's why I'm going to be enjoying exploring all the other decks, so that you guys, when you come back into the game, you guys are ready to pick up whichever deck that you may want to play. So make sure you stick around for that. So hit subscribe, ding notification bell. I've been working on the other live duel. I couldn't really output it because I got sick, couldn't commentate through it, but I'm back, so I'm going to be getting around to some live duels with you guys. So stick around. Appreciate you guys, love all of you guys, and I wish you guys the best of top decks. Get your tops. Maybe I'll see you guys at WZQ, and I'll catch you guys next time.